Hello, this is Dr. Ed Perper. I'm co-founder of SBC, and welcome to this demonstration of MEDSTORY AI. This is a platform for creating scientific stories. It's designed for medical affairs teams, communication agencies, as well as academic researchers and scientists who need to turn complex data and science into compelling scientific narratives, and to do it very quickly and very robustly. Today, this demo is going to focus on pancreatic cancer and the drug Darax. So let's get started, and we're going to show you the whole demo right here. So I'm going to enter I'm going to start up MEDSTORY AI right here, and I'm going to start a new story. And I'm going to put in the disease state, which is pancreatic adenocarcinoma. I'm going to enter the specific intervention, which is Darax. And the primary audience is going to be oncologists. Okay, that gets our session started. I'm going to start with the scientific investigation. You see here is the first phase. Find publications, and it's going to scour the internet for papers on this disease state and intervention. So it found 12 publications. You can choose which ones you want to bring in. In this case, I'm going to choose all 12. You can upload your own publications very easily. You can identify top thought leaders. I'll put in, we're looking for 10. So it found a number of experts here. And then we are going to go next to uncover unmet needs. So it's going to do a needs analysis, what we call a 5-lens analysis. I'm going to check off clinical efficacy because I want to bring that unmet need into the story. Then if I scroll down, I can click down here, and that will generate more specific granular unmet needs. And it shows several of those. I'm going to check these two right here, and that completes our unmet needs analysis. So now we're going to move on to the stakeholder interviews, and we're going to simulate an expert interview. Let's make him an oncologist. Let's give him expertise in pancreatic cancer, Darax, clinical trials of cancer treatment. And let's make him a mix of both basic scientist and clinician, and make him an academic. And now we can start asking him questions. So a question could be, what are the biggest barriers to Darax being approved for treatment of pancreatic cancer? And it says that the biggest barrier is the rigorous clinical trial process, and you see another hurdle and additional regulatory challenges, so it's a very complete answer. So you can ask numerous questions, as many as you want. When you're done, you're going to click Summarize Key Points. It's going to extract the main highlights from that interview. You pick the ones you want to bring into the story, and then you're done with that simulated interview. You can also bring in your own interview if you have a transcript of it. It can be a PDF or a Word document. And you can also create a list of interview questions. So you can, I'm not going to name a specific person, but I'm interested in efficacy, safety, and cost of let's make 25 questions. And there are the questions, and we can download those and use those in an upcoming interview. Next, we go to core story concept, which is the big idea of the story. So it's going to create a core story concept option for us here. There's a headline here, Darax that redefines pancreatic cancer survival. There's a tension to that big idea, and a resolution. I can modify the tension or the resolution, or I can create a second option, or even a third option. And we've got 3 options now, which we can edit as much as we want. We can also put in our own core story concept, which I won't put in right now. And then once we do that, we have to select one core story concept, which is going to be the North Star of our story. So let me pick number 1 and go down here and select that core story concept. Now the next thing we do is we go to create story flow. And now we're going to create the arc of the story. The beginning of the story is called the attack point. This is something we borrow, a term we borrow from Hollywood. You can adjust that attack point. You can make additional attack points, come up with as many as you want, and then modify them. Once you're happy with the beginning of the story, you can click Complete Story Flow, and we're going to request a full narrative, which is made up of 8 to 12 tension resolution points. So as you can see here, it completed that. Each tension resolution point has a tension and a resolution. You can modify both of them. And then the take-home point is the core story concept. Once we do that, we do a second pass at the literature search, which is now more focused on the core story concept and the story flow outline, rather than just general publications about the topic. So that's what's going to happen when I click proceed. So now it's going to perform a second exhaustive literature search, looking for papers that support our core story concept and story flow. And here it's identified 8 such papers. So I'm going to go ahead and upload them. And here's the first one. I already previously loaded them, so they would be ready for us. Here's a second one. Here's a third one. A fourth one. A fifth one. And number 6 is right here, Mason, 2023. And I decided not to include these other 2 here because they were peripheral to our story. So now I'm going to click done. And we are ready now to go and see a visual portrayal of our story flow, which is what we call the story flow map. So if you click on each of these circles, it'll tell you, remind you what is in that tension or resolution, or the attack point at the beginning, or the core story concept at the end. So you can see exactly how the flow of the story and how the tension is going up and down. Now we're at this point ready to make our story and actually the final form of the story. Right now there are 3 things you can do. You can do a PowerPoint deck, a white paper, or an animation video script. So I'm going to do the white paper first. I'm going to choose a conventional white paper. I'm going to say that it's 1,500 words. I'm going to make myself the author. And I'm going to put in today's date and my organization. And I'm going to ask for a complete response so that the annotation is very robust. And now you can see it started writing that white paper. It came up with the idea for the title of the paper, Darax and the retargeting of RAS and pancreatic ductal adenocarcinoma, clinical evidence, biomarker strategy, and integration into multimodality care. So this is MEDSTORY AI came up with that title. Here's the information I put in. There's an introduction, the problem setup, and you can see the sections, and it's very well organized and just like a regular paper. And here it's creating that paper and generating that paper. Almost done. Now it's putting in the references, and then it automatically then will annotate and validate those references, which is what it's doing now. Okay, so now it's finished creating the annotations, and it's created this green button here, which would take us to a spreadsheet showing the validation. Here's the summary of the validation. There were 25 claims made in the white paper, and they all passed being well supported by the references. Then the next thing I'm going to do is go to the video script, and I'm going to ask it to make a 2-minute video script. And it's going to start doing that immediately. And it's formatted like a video script, 1 sentence per number, per paragraph, referenced as before. This is, of course, much shorter than the white paper, so it's going to complete much quicker. And now, again, automatically going to annotate and validate the claims and check them against the references. Okay, the annotation is complete. The validation is complete. There were 15 claims made in the video script, and they all passed the testing, which is summarized in this spreadsheet. Then the last step is the PowerPoint deck. It's asking us how long we want that presentation to be. I'm going to say 7 minutes. I'm going to give it up to 12 slides to make. I'm going to give it an academic friendly tone. You can set any tone you wish. And I want it to be highly visual. So now it's going to start creating the deck outline. In the deck outline, each slide has a slide title, on-screen text in the slide, a description of the visuals, and prose speaker notes. So it does that, of course, for every single slide. And we can select all of the slides, or we can pick the ones that we want. So I'm going to go ahead and here we go. It's selected all the slides so far, and it's not quite done yet. Oh, actually, it's finished making the slides, and now it's doing the validation and annotation as it did with the other 2 documents. Okay, so now validation and annotation have completed. There were 14 claims. They all passed. So, and now it's summarized in the spreadsheet. So now we can go ahead and proceed to PowerPoint generation with this big green button. We pick our PowerPoint template that we want. I'm going to pick the dark blue one that's called Cobalt. You can upload your own and generate the deck. This is going to take a little time, so we're going to come back in a few minutes when it's finished making the deck. Okay, so the PowerPoint has been generated and we can download it. One of the things I wanted to mention is that at any time during the case, you can show the saved data, and everything we've done is saved here. The publications that we uploaded and selected, the thought leaders, the unmet needs, the core story concept, everything that we've done up until this point is saved, and you can download it to a document. So let's go ahead and download that PowerPoint, and let's quickly name it. And I'm going to take a look at it with you right now. So here's the title slide. Here's the entire slide deck here. You see some of the slides have data in them. Some of the slides, like this one, are tension generating slides. Will resistance mechanisms undermine Darax on-recip's long-term benefit? And then ending with the summary slide at the end. So this slide deck uses the core story concept that we developed. It uses the story flow that we developed. It uses all the references, the anchor publications that we downloaded to the system. And all these slides are fully referenced and annotated and have speaker notes. So I hope you enjoyed this demonstration of MEDSTORY AI. Look forward to meeting you in the future.